There are a couple of hubs for the performing arts here in the Lafayette area. In downtown Lafayette, you've got the Long Center and the Lafayette Theater, which is now owned by the city and run by the Long Center for the Performing Arts, the same group that runs the Long Center. And their schedule for their if you want to go see shows in downtown Lafayette, that's where you go. But then you've also got Purdue University. And at Purdue University, the presenter, the person that brings shows to campus is called Convocations. And Convocations just released their new schedule for the year. So I thought that we would take a few minutes and pop through their schedule and talk about some of the more interesting shows coming up this year. So we'll talk about the venues that they're in as they go. The first one's going to be in Elliott Hall of Music, and a good number of them this year are at Elliott Hall of Music. If you've never been, Elliott Hall of Music is a 6,000 seat theater. And if you don't really know what that means until you step inside of a 6,000 seat theater. Most theaters that you would see at like a high school to performing arts center are 800, 1,000, maybe 1,500 seats. A big commercial theater is going to be 2,000, maybe 3,000 seats. Elliott Hall of Music is 6,000 seats. It's just unbelievably huge. And it's really kind of indescribable how big it is, and you really can't get a sense for it until you're there. But the first show of the year that I thought was really interesting is coming up September 15th at 6 p.m. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse live in concert. This is a really cool event. We went to the first one last year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Into the Spider-Verse. This is the movie played live. This is the movie played with a live band, orchestra, and DJ. So the movie music, the score really relies on beats and scratching, and so there's actually a live DJ there playing, as well as the orchestra playing the music live on stage. So I've been to a few of these over the years, and they're really, really cool to see. Normally you see the orchestra playing on stage. I've seen Star Trek that way. That one comes to mind with that big orchestral score with all those horns, and it's really cool. But man, the DJ really kind of brings something unique to it. So go check that out on September 15th. On September 21st, West Lafayette is hosting their 29th annual Global Fest, and it's in the downtown Lafayette area. What is downtown Lafayette? Well, that's the area around the around the West Lafayette Library and West Lafayette Town Hall, that area down there. So Global Fest is really kind of an interesting festival. They have booths set up with global foods, and these global foods are actually made, cooked, and served and presented by people from those cultures. So they're pulling from the diverse cultural backgrounds of our community and of Purdue University. So it's a great way to go experience some fantastic and interesting foods that are from their home, from these people's home cultures. But then there are also performances. There's a big stage there. There'll be some dance. There'll be a few bands, and they are international music, so not things that you're going to hear around here. But it's an outdoor street festival with a concert, September 21st at 3 p.m. On September 25th, they've got the musical Dear Evan Hansen. I'm a pretty big musical fan. I know a lot of people love Dear Evan Hansen. I'll have to admit to not knowing a ton about that one, but that's going to be at Elliott Hall of Music at 7:30 on September 25th. One that I'm very, very excited about, though, is this one. I'm going to put it up. What do you think? September 29th at 2 o'clock at Elliott Hall of Music, a conversation with Yo-Yo Ma. I don't think it really matters if you're a big fan of classical music or not. I think almost everybody knows who Yo-Yo Ma is. Fantastic classical cello player, but with a personality. He's a humanitarian. He's a connector. He wants, people to connect to the music, but he wants to connect people to people. And so I've seen him in concert before. This is not going to be a concert. This is going to be a conversation. He's going to have a journalist, interviewer lead the conversation, and then there'll also be snippets of music that he'll play. But any chance to see Yo-Yo Ma live on stage is okay with me. So I'm really looking forward to that on September 29th. Convocations is continuing its engagement with jazz music on October 12th. The Isaiah J. Thompson Quartet he's a jazz pianist. Check him out here. He's going to be playing at Loeb Playhouse on their Steinway that they're awfully proud of there. And then October 29th, back at Elliott, Tina, the Tina Turner musical. My wife is a big Tina Turner fan. I'm a big Broadway fan. I'm excited about Broadway in Lafayette. I hope this show goes well, October 29th. And then skipping ahead to January 21st, Terence Blanchard's Fire Shut Up in My Bones. So this is a part of the celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So it will be here as a concert excerpt next year. January 24th in Loeb Playhouse, the Charles Mingus Big Band. If you know anything about jazz music, about big band music, you'll know the name Charles Mingus. He's going to be here on January 24th. The musical Hadestown at Elliott on February 6th at 7:30 p.m. The musical Pretty Woman is going to be at Elliott February 20th at 7:30 p.m. Yes, they made a musical of Pretty Woman. Should be pretty exciting to see. We have a run of Hamlet. So if you want to get a little bit of the Bard at Loeb Playhouse from actors from the London stage. I've seen these guys perform a few times. They're pretty fantastic. It's Shakespeare in a really accessible way. And then April 3rd, back at Elliott, we've got the musical Chicago. I think that this has been a perennial favorite for years. Pretty exciting to have it coming here to Purdue. And then finally, the last show on the schedule for the moment is April 10th, a chamber music show, Vivaldi's Four Seasons, at 300 years old. Chamber orchestra playing at Loeb Playhouse. So that is the convocation season as it stands right now at Purdue University. So if you're into live shows, there's some great things here. If you've never been to a live show, there's a number of them here that are really accessible and a great way to check to get into it, and you really should go check them out. All right. So take that minute in between here and hit the like and subscribe button. Like I keep saying, helps us out with our channel here at YouTube. Check out our 150 videos. And remember, if you need home here in the Lafayette area, reach out. My contact information is right there.